Welcome back to Rappahannock Issues. I'm Tom Cohen, talking about farming in America. We're here at the Silver Ridge Farm, and I'm joined with Jerry Silver. And we're here over at your house. And we were talking about technology and how technology has sort of changed farming in many different ways. So when you think about technology, how does it impact farming?
Well, it's been a tremendous impact. It's allowed America to feed as many people as we do. Yields have increased, weed resistance and GMO seed has just been phenomenal in helping increase the yields and the crops you can grow. The GPS guidance systems and tractors and combines has allowed you to plant straighter rows. They have driverless tractors now that once you get it in the row, you just take hand off the wheel and it will take itself to the end of the field. The spray equipment, this is a big saver with the GMO. It'll cut each nozzle off as it gets to that end row. So you're saving fuel, you're saving spray, you're saving fertilizer. They can do a grid, take soil samples, a grid of your field, and you don't put the same analysis fertilizer on the whole field. It will put the analysis there that it needs. So you're not wasting fertilizer, and you're giving the part of the field that can use the most fertilizer to most efficiently gets that, and the other doesn't need as much. It won't get it.
Right.
So it's saving fertilizer, it's saving money. It's phenomenal what we have, and they tell me it's not even started yet.
Now, when you're saying GMO, for anybody who's not familiar, what are those letters stand
That's
for?
a genetically modified organism, and what primarily it is, the gene that makes the plant susceptible to Roundup has been identified, and so most of the corn and beans grown is now Roundup ready, what's called Roundup ready. So this field right here was just sprayed last Thursday with Roundup, and if you notice, that was to kill the weeds, but if you notice, the beans weren't affected.
Right.
So it allows us to have much better weed control than we had in the past.
Now, there's a great deal of discussion about agribusiness versus family farms and that impact. So what is your thought of that whole issue?
Well, I'm a family farmer. My son's farming. My father was farming until he got hurt. We are a family farm. It's been a family farm for years. At some point, if we were living in the Midwest or something and we wanted to continue to grow, we'd have acres to the point where we might be an agribusiness organization.
Right.
Does that mean I'm not a family farmer? I just think agribusiness, these big farms are just families, and they might have. I saw an article on a guy had 8 sons, and all of them came back to farm. I think the acreage and the amount of business you've got to do to support 8 families.
Right.
So when I hear people complain about agribusiness and these mega farms and all, I'm not very sympathetic to that.
Now, and you were saying back to the technology about the satellites and all. I mean, even weather satellites now are far more helpful than when I was growing up and you're growing up. I mean, we were
Right.
thinking, school wise, blizzards. You just got a blizzard, you didn't know about it. But now with all the satellites and that can certainly help you in your job.
Oh yeah, and I've just got a flip-top phone, but my son, the guys who work for me, they've got all the technology on their phones, and I can say, hey, when is it supposed to rain? Now, I look at 3 weather reports every morning before I come out of the house, so I know what it's supposed to do for the next 3 days. But they can look at that and say, well, the storm is in Spotsylvania, so we've got 20 minutes to get this done, or we might not want to start this job because the storm is imminent, and so and of course everything that happens on a farm is triggered by the weather.
Right.
You either don't cut or you do cut hay. You don't plant your crop now because if you get too much rain, it could drown it out. Everything we do is triggered by the weather. And I know every day when I come out of the house what the weather's supposed to be for the next 3 days.
Now, we're sitting on your porch, and you've done some new work on the porch, but in the house. But you were saying that some of the remnants of the initial house were still here when you were doing this work.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, the house belongs to my son and daughter-in-law now, but they completely remodeled the outside, the porch off. It was my great grandfather's house when he came to the farm. It was kind of added on to. We found all sorts of crazy little things in the house. My grandmother, it was a cement porch and cement columns, and she had those made, my dad said, with her egg money at a little place up here off of Claiborne Run that had a little cement factory or whatever. It's just, I remember coming up. It was called the Big House when I was growing up, and everything revolved around this house. My 3 aunts, my dad's older sisters lived here and kept it up, and we had Christmas here. We had every holiday here. When most all the family lived in Fredericksburg, but 2 of them lived away, and anytime they're here, this is where they came to. So it's been kind of the anchor for this farm and the members of the family for years.
And that's almost alien nowadays as well. I mean, with the people moving in, in different,
Right.
The students I teach, they've lived in 2 or 3 or 4 homes, let alone states. But I remember as well there being one place everybody would go to on holidays that was sort of the place that you would celebrate, and it's just a different sense of home and community that way.
Well, that's one thing about being on a farm. It's all family. I work with my son every day. I work with my father every day. And sometimes that's good and sometimes that's bad, But we always manage to be speaking at the end of the day, and have been blessed to be able to carry the family, the farm tradition on. But no, it's if you can do it. I always told my kids, if you want to farm. Don't come back here to farm because you think I want you to. Come back because that's what you want to do more than anything else. And Susan, our daughter is very involved in coming back and helping us and whatnot. And of course, my wife taught school for years in Stafford County and supported me and did late night dinners and never see me in the morning because I was up and gone. And it's just a farmer's wife. She had her job, I had my job, but pick me up from the field and bring me back here, or just whatever needs to be done. Been very fortunate.
And you were said earlier on that it's it's an issue of the heart, and in knowing different members of your family, it's just really core element of them, and they're just really good people, the whole family. I've been really fortunate not only to know you and work with you on a commission, but to know members of your family and to actually get your meat, your beef here, which is really awesome as well. So we're wrapping up, and there are many challenges for farming in America, but with people like the Silvers, we're going to do very well with it, and we hope you come back to see Rappahannock Issues next time. So come on back and have a good day.